after my last Path of Titans video, I was bombarded, I guess we could say, with comments recommending that I steer clear of the official servers if I want to get a feel for how the game is actually played. Which I assumed meant that unofficials were way less painful because of passive growth, and also rules, both of which are helpful when the biggest problem I had been having was the questing and people doing things that people tend to do on no-rule servers. So obviously now we have to try the unofficial servers because it's only fair. But also, my child, the great and wonderful, marvelous Dilophosaurus, exists on unofficial servers. So how can I not go and play as my son? So I spawned in the burned forest on Arizoa. And of course, being me, when I heard fighting, I thought, ooh. Figured there were no rules about changing targets during a hunt, so there wouldn't be any real danger in watching and maybe picking a couple flowers, because ooh. I was wrong though. It was not a fight. It was a pair of Ceratos that were in a group and were actually just sparring. So my tiny reptile brain cried as I got run down and squashed. So that was super fun, but also definitely the best possible first 5 minutes I could have had on an unofficial server. But not to worry, I was not mad. Sort of. I respawned and began my real Dilophosaurus journey. My grow was, however, super uneventful. I think I only saw maybe 2 other players in the whole 2 hours or so, which, by the way, was so much nicer than the 3 days that this grow would likely have taken on the official servers. So there's that. So we'll just skip the whole baby thing and jump ahead to when I was an adult, and I was looking for 2 things. Other Dilophosauruses to pack with, because you cannot mix pack on Arizoa, and something that I could hunt either solo or in said pack. Unfortunately for me, the server has just added the Quetzal and Uteranus mods, so it turns out it's super hard to find other Dilos, but I figured that maybe if I could find the right prey, then I could hopefully have a successful solo hunt at the very least. I'd been wandering around Green Valley for a while, mostly avoiding the pair of Uteranus that had claimed it as a territory. I was hoping that I would spot a small herbivore somewhere that I could try and hunt. Eventually I noticed a parasaur that seemed young-ish, so I was stalking it around one of the lakes until I realized that it had a bigger friend with it. At that point, I decided I would just follow them at a distance for a few minutes and hope that I could find something else, as I was getting really hungry. Unfortunately for me, I spotted the Uties too late this time, and though I thought for a minute they hadn't seen me, well, they did. I'll be honest, I panicked a little when I saw them coming for me. I'd already outrun something else earlier, as my Dilo was basically a speed plus stamina build, so I was hoping that maybe I was faster than the Uties. I was not. Turns out that Uteranus is faster than me. In a 2v1, I figured I probably stood no chance either way, and with their speed, I was a bit scared to stop moving. If I'd actually, used my brain and relaxed a little bit, I wouldn't have wasted so much stamina, and probably figured out a lot sooner that I was much more agile than these guys. Obviously, I did figure it out eventually, but by the time I did, I was so low on stamina that I was only really delaying the inevitable. It wasn't until the Quetz stepped in and third-partied the hunt, which is allowed in the rules, but still kind of sucked. Also, side note, this Quetz looks super menacing with those creepy glowing yellow eyes. Anyway, it was at that point that I got a bit annoyed with the fight. I mean, I knew I really couldn't win either way, so I could only be so frustrated. But at least I felt like I was doing an okay job once I settled down and stopped panic running in circles. A while later, after regrowing, I returned to Green Valley. I knew there were a decent amount of players passing through there at any one time, and since I was below 60% hunger, I could hunt again. I spotted something small and took after it. I think it's a young Yeti. I know it's not exactly a fair fight, hunting adolescents, but I was so tired of eating nothing but AI again. Anyway, he threw himself in the river, and since there's no mechanic to sniff out dead bodies, I have no idea if he died in there or if he managed to get out and escape while I was crossing over. I'm pretty sure he got out because of the footprints on the other side, but I didn't see where they led. I couldn't find more of them, so who knows. Either way, with another failed hunt under my belt, I continued to stalk around the Green Valley. Finally, some herbivores. I know trikes are a bit of an ask, especially for a solo dilo, but I'm never going to learn what I can fight and how best to do so if I don't try, right? There were a couple of babies with the adult, so like every good predator, I hid in the bushes nearby and waited for an opening. I wanted to target the smallest one, hoping to kill it fast enough that the adult couldn't get to me to prevent the hunt, and then I'd have the body down protection. This isn't the Isle though, obviously, and juveniles are made of tougher stuff. The adult caught on to what was happening pretty quickly, and I retreated to wait for another opening. It didn't take long. The adult wasn't very attentive while they were traveling, and the babies fell behind enough that I could get a few more bites in. I figured if I could keep up this tap and run strategy long enough, I would eventually kill one of the babies. Either that or the adults would catch on and they would actually protect them a little better. Either way, I figured I had a decent chance if I was careful. Unfortunately, for me, the Uties from earlier had other plans. You know, I was still within their territory, and so when they heard the commotion, they made their way over pretty quickly. I saw them crossing the river, which was my saving grace. Knowing I couldn't really outrun them, obviously, I had dealt with them once before, but also not wanting to get caught by the same guys a second time, I abandoned the hunt and got out. Eventually, after having spent way too long in Green Valley with no real luck, I decided to try and make my way toward the Stego Mountain. Back when I was on the officials, I had seen a good amount of herbivores passing through there, and I figured there must be something in that area that draws them there. I had barely passed into the zone though when I heard footsteps above me. Can I just say that it's both hilarious and a bit cute how all of the dinos in this game have the ability to crouch? Anyway, this was my real chance. A solo Amargasaurus. Not sure how old, probably adolescent, maybe a sub. It was small. We'll just leave it at it was small. This is the first time I actually really, truly began to think while I was fighting. I remembered that there's a cooldown on each attack, so baiting those attacks out before attacking myself would give me some free hits without taking any damage. Which is great in theory, but in a confined space, and with my desire to try and end the hunt as quickly as possible, preferably before some third party showed up to chase me off or steal my kill, I took way more risks and therefore way more damage than I actually should have. But I'm also still learning. This is only my second dinosaur I've ever grown, and I've had very little combat experience on Path of Titans. So it is what it is. It may not have been the cleanest hunt, but it is my first successful one, and also the real turning point on my feelings toward this game. Up until now, I felt okay about it. I had played on the official servers, and we all know how that turned out. And I've played a little bit on the unofficials now, so I could see some of the draw of the game, but I still hadn't really been able to find anybody to play with, and I hadn't had any successful fights. A few good learning experiences, all good things for my future gameplay, I'm sure, but nothing that really solidified that I might actually like to play this game and would be okay at playing it once I had some practice. This fight did it though. I was actually excited about Path of Titans. Later in the evening, I joined a Discord server for Dilo enthusiasts that play on Arizoa. Here I found some more experienced Dilo players that I could hopefully pack up with. One of them agreed to join up with me, so we hopped on Arizoa 3 because they were doing a speedy growth event. There weren't many other people online, and I was still growing, so we decided to practice with some sparring. When sparring, at least with this particular group, and I didn't know this at the time, we fight until one or both is at half health. The fight was pretty even in the end. We mostly traded bites, and since I was smaller, I'm pretty sure the 1 or 2 free hits I got only really evened up the score. But all practice is good, so once we finished up the fight, we laid down to heal off the damage. At least that was the plan before the Uties showed up. We fled and healed somewhere safe before deciding to go and track those same Uties down. We knew it was a losing battle, or at least that's what I was told. Dilo versus Utie is probably not the best fight, but it was the first real chance of action that we'd seen. A couple juvenile kills to fill our hunger didn't really count as action. So we figured, why not? We weren't losing much. It was a fast grow event, so we'd be able to regrow pretty quickly if we were to die. Can I just say, fighting right beside a cliff edge is never the best plan. My packmate was being heavily targeted, so I was really trying my best to lure the Uties off of him. They were pretty determined to completely ignore me. I guess I was not much of a threat. Maybe I was, I don't know. But they were pretty determined to focus on their target, which is a smart thing when a body down means that the fight is over. And then, it happened. I took a left at stupid, and, well.
Oh no! Rip. Oops.
I want to offer a huge thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel in the last week or so. I am excited to make more Path of Titans videos, and I hope that you guys continue to enjoy them. If you did, leave a like, comment, and if you're new here and liked what you watched, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thanks, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.